Hello grade 6, how are you today? I hope you are fine. Today we are going to study the volumes. But before we start, we have to remember what's the meaning of solids. Any object that occupies a room in the space is called a solid. For example, the home is solid, the box is solid, the car is solid, the dice is solid. But we have some solids have geometrical shapes such as the cube, cuboid, sphere, cone, pyramid, and cylinder. In the cube formed from squares, and the cuboid formed from rectangles, the sphere formed from circles, the cone formed from circle and rectangle, the pyramid square and triangles, the cylinder formed from 2 circles and 1 rectangle. We should study 2 of these solids, the cube and the cuboid. Let's start with the cuboid. The cuboid is a geometrical solid that has the shape of a box. It's formed from 6 faces. All these faces are rectangles. The top and the bottom face called bases. The top and the bottom faces called bases, and the other 4 rectangles called lateral faces, which any 2 opposite faces are parallel and congruent. Each 2 opposite faces are parallel and congruent. So this face and this face is congruent and parallel, and the base here and the base here parallel and congruent. We had studied also that the 12 edges, 12 vertices, and 6 faces. And also the solid have 3 dimensions: length, width, and height. A cube is a geometrical solid that has the shapes of regular dice. It's composed or formed from 6 faces. All these faces are squares, and each 2 opposite faces are parallel. But in cube, we can say that any 2 opposite faces could be considered a bases. We have 2 faces considered the bases, and the other 4 faces called lateral faces. Any 2 opposite faces are parallel and congruent. And the cuboid also has 12 edges, 8 vertices, and 3 equal dimensions. So in cube, the length equals the height equals the width. Now, what about volumes? The number of units which a solid consists of is called the volume of the solid. We have 2 ways to measure the volume. The first one, measuring the volume of solid using some identical solids. For example, in this shape, we have some boxes of pens. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 boxes. The number of boxes is 10, then its volume equals 10 boxes. In the second picture, we have 15 cans of cola. The number of cans equals 15, then its volume equals 15 cans of cola. The second way, measuring the volume of a solid using standard units. The standard volume units such as cubic centimeter and cubic meter, cubic centimeter and cubic meter. The cubic centimeter is the volume of a cube that edge length equals 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter. This unit used to measure the volume of a carton of milk, a box of soup, a box of matches, and so on. In this example, find the volume of each of the following solids. Consider the volume is 1 cube centimeter. 1 cube centimeter. In this figure, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the volume is 14 cubic centimeter, cubic centimeter. Number B, we have 1, 2, 2 multiplied by 4. So we have in the bottom 8 cubes, and here we have 8 cubes, and here we have 4. 8 plus 8 plus 4 equals 20. So the volume of the shape equals 20 cubic centimeter. As we say, we have another unit to measure the volume. The first one called cubic decimeter. Cubic decimeter. The cubic decimeter is the volume of a cube. Edge length equals 1 decimeter. We use a cubic decimeter to find the value of a carton of TV, a carton of washing machine, and so on, and so on. The second one is the cubic meter. The cubic meter is the volume of a cube of edge length equals 1 meter. This unit used to measure the volume of container, building, and so on. So the cubic meter using to find the volume of the big things. The last one, the cubic millimeter. The cubic millimeter is the volume of a cube of edge length equals 1 millimeter. By the end of the lesson, I hope all of you understood. Thank you for listening.